morning to everyone. I'm Eswaran. I'm principal architect. Actually, I've been leading strategic initiatives in my organization. So when we started rolling out strategic initiatives, always we see that for during the implementation phase, we start getting that lot of noise because already there are so many crying noise in the existing application. Why are you initiating the new one? So how to stop that? So that was the trigger point for this initiative. Actually, this is I try to correlate with that human health with applications, IT applications. We are keeping our health properly. Why can't we keep the application's health properly? So that is the trigger point. Let's see actually what are the things we have done it as a part of it, and the primarily the putting this topic in this forum, I wanted to share that to the this community because we started seeing the success. So I really after a long struggle, we have seen that seeing the results. So I wanted to share this. Okay, in next 30 minutes, we will see this line items. So let's see what is application health. There are so many application health monitoring tools and all, right? So that this is not that completely on that. So this like if application is stable and if and it is like it has a long lifetime, then we can say that its application is healthy. Okay. So now let's see why it is important. We need actually really extend the application's lifetime. If you look at it like a decade before, the application lifetime is 10 years. Then after some time, it was reduced to 5 years. Now, if you see that every 6 months we have started getting new versions of mobile, Android or other OS versions and software versions, how to handle all those things. So we need to extend the application life. Another one is that without increasing the cost. Like we need to really minimize the operational expenses. If you look at that industry standard is we are spending more than 80% for operational expenses. How to reduce it actually? Not only extending the life, we need to bring down the cost as well. And business agility. So especially that industry, what I am working, actually the requirement changes are very frequent and technology changes also very frequent. How to handle that agility in both functional side and technology side. Another one, at the same time, contradictorily, we don't have a lot of expertise in the market. We have very limited expertise how to handle all those things. And we have very short time to reach out to the customers. We have very short time to put the application in production. And instead of another one is very important. Actually, instead of wasting our energy to concentrate on the existing problems, we have to really reserve our energy to focus on that futuristic things. Like customer expectation is a lot. So if we delay it for 6 months, then their expectations will be different. We may not be able to meet the customer's requirements. The last one, only healthy applications can make a customer happy. So now let's see who all the people will be involved in this. So the key team is Architecture Review Board. So Architecture Review Board is will be leading this initiative, and it doesn't. It's not only having the member from architecture. If you look at that, it has a member from business IT. It has a member from software engineering. It has a member from business. It's primarily it is a collaborative effort which is required to implement this program successfully. At last, like we need a strong support from executive board as it requires more power and authority. Okay, this is actually a complete view of the program, whole program. If you look at it, there will be two entrances. One is a regular entrance, another one is emergency entrance, and there will be two teams and one virtual team. That is a general team and a specialist team. And another one is emergency response team. It's basically a virtual team derived from the members from general and specialist. Okay, so now let's see the workflow of emergency request. When we get that request from emergency entrance, actually that will be reached to emergency response team. They are specialists in handling emergency request, and they are expert in firefighting and other stuff. Okay, so they will look at that application health record. I will see the details of health record and other stuff in the coming slides. Just I will keep that abstract now. So they will look at that application health record. It is similar to master health record for all of us. So like when we go to that hospital first, right? So if there is an emergency, they will look at our treatment history first. If there is anything related to that, actually the problem is related to that treatment history, then they will give that right appropriate treatment, that they will get into the fast track zone, which will be more an agile way they will work on it. They will not have to go to that all workflow cycle to get it reviewed and get it before implementations. So more on agile way they will do the work, and they will implement that solution, and they will put it in production under pilot mode. It is similar to after surgery, we will keep the patient in intensive care unit, right, for some time. So similarly, that for 2 weeks, it will be under pilot monitoring mode. Actually, all micro level monitors, all instrumentations like code level instrumentation will feed in, will monitor all the stuff. Then once that we get the confidence of that solution, then after 2 weeks, it will be moved under the regular production mode. Okay. Similarly, for regular cycle, it will get into the observation mode. Observation mode, if it is a first time entrant, there won't be any health record. But if it is a regular entrance, there is already health record is available. So for the first time entrance, based on that observations, the details, they will create the application health record, and they will do the diagnosis that will be done by general and specialist teams. And finally, they will come up with the tactical and strategic solutions, and to improve the health of the applications, tactical solutions will be implemented. Once they are confident, is this okay to sustain in the production, they will put it in production. For strategic solutions, they will elaborate it and they will present it to the executive board for that further approval and budgeting and other constraints. These are the complete view about that how this program works. Now we see that different life cycle details and what are that outcome of each stage. Okay, this is the consultation phase. In consultation phase, if it is, as I said earlier, if it is the first time, the information will be gathered from multiple stakeholders. Okay, so it will be through more on interviews and workshops, but it will have actually, it has a predefined questionnaires. All the questionnaires are created based on that quality attributes defined in 25010 standards. So based on that questionnaires, they will gather information from business stakeholders, IT stakeholders, even engineering stakeholders, even service management stakeholder as well. So after gathering information, application health record will be created. That will be the complete blueprint for the applications going forward. This is what that application blueprint contains. Okay, so application blueprint, that skeleton is more on that internal application component about this applications. And sequencing, what are the architecture patterns or design patterns which are used for developing that application. Another one is the realization thing is how business components are mapped with the application components. And another one is integration view. It will give you that what are the inbound and outbound applications which are interacting with these applications. The last one is physical view. It will give you that whole details about the H2 storage layer of that applications. This will give, this will be the more on one pager it will be. So if you look at it in practical, we have to look at that multiple documents in place to get all this information. During that health consultation phase, we will make it as a one pager. It will have a view about all these details. Not only with this information, also it covers some critical facts about it, like some kind of critical NFRs. What is the concurrent users, or what is that? And also it has some kind of required treatment history as well. Okay, now this is the diagnosis phase. This is actually a more on review phase, like if we can say that. So we used a customized ATOM-based methodology to review that information, review the applications based on the information gathered in the earlier phase, consultation phase. Okay, so there will be two teams who work on it. One is a specialized team. The specialized team like database architect, and similarly that integration architect, similarly infrastructure architect. So that they are all specialized in that certain areas. So another thing is more on architect COE also will work on the general perspective. They will use the customized data methodology. They will come out with health index. You can see that what is health index, because data methodology won't produce the results in the quantitative way. It produced more on the qualitative statements, but convincing that all the stakeholders, even especially business stakeholders, with the qualitative statement, it's really difficult. So that is the reason we come out with quantitative statement about the application health. Let's see how we are calculating that health index. This is one of the sample thing of a diagnosis report that we have come out with. If you look at it, this is a specialist diagnosis and this is general diagnosis report, and that is the way we are calculating the health index. In the health index, actually for each scenarios or each problems or each questions, we categorize into that criticality and their compliance. So it's basically a weighted average of that criticality into compliance that will come out with that health index of each application. Okay. So if you look at it, specialist diagnosis, each specialist like infrastructure specialist come out with the index for that application based on that quality attributes. So based on that, we can very well see that where is the problem, actual problem here. If you look at it, the integration, the availability, if the score is 2. So before that, explaining about that, now let's see that what is that health index score in the range. Like 0 to 5 is the health index. If 0 to 3.5, it's a very danger level, and 3.5 to 4.5 is sustainability level. We can see that it's not really a danger, but it will create a problem after some time if we continue with that. 4.5 to 5, it is the best level. Health, the application is in best health. We don't have to really look at that. So after coming up to this index, now we'll see that specialist report. If you look at the integration area for availability, health index is 2. Then we can, but the integration expert, specialist team can look at it in details. Where is the actual bottleneck? They can fix the problem. They can improve the health of the application. So similarly, all the based on all the parameters, they can concentrate on specific problems instead of reviewing that application in a complete view. Now let's see, this is our next stage. Now we have come up with a health index. So, but the clinic's responsibility is not only to come out with the health, it's not over after coming out with the health index. So it has to provide that required solutions as well. This is more on the solutioning phase. So there will be 2 set of solutions will be produced at the end of this stage. One is a get well plan, that is a tactical solution. Another one is health improvement plan, that is a strategic solution. So in get well plan, different POCs might be required to implement the get well plan. All those things will be done it as a part of advice phase, and the health improvement plan, it's more on that high level design for the strategic solutions will be done as a part of advice phase. When we do that health improvement plan, really we need to convince all the stakeholders, because the architecture review board has members from business as well. So that talking in technology terms we may not be able to convince the people. So we need to provide that more details, more evidence to convince them as it will work. So in the earlier session, Jan talked about some modeling techniques. So here we also use that discrete event simulation modeling technique to simulate that if you go with the solution, this is how that problem will be solved. Okay, so and also we used customized cost benefits analysis method, CBAM method, to produce more details to the management team, especially whether we will get good amount of return on investment or not. So after now we have seen that we have convinced all the stakeholders. We have that get well plan ready and health improvement plan ready. Now we are moving to that implementation phase. This is actual treatment phase. So whatever that GWP we drafted earlier, so it will be implemented here. After implementation, it will be validated and it will be kept under pilot monitoring mode, as I said earlier, before rolling out in the production in the normal mode. Okay. This is actually a key outcome for the application wellness clinic. This is primarily the communication page which will communicate about all critical applications health to the management, to business also. This is the page. This is a part of our enterprise portal. So will be accessible. It will be accessible by all business stakeholders and IT stakeholders. So they can see the health of all critical applications. What is the current health? What was the earlier health when it was required, and all those things. And what is happening in clinic also, they can get the details from here. So you can ask that. You may ask that, is it for all the applications? Like bigger organizations, we may have thousands of applications. Normally, these clinic is not meant for all 1,000 applications. Okay, so and because experts are required, we cannot keep thousands of experts to handle thousands of applications. So this is like we have rolled out for only 40 applications initially, that is critical, business critical applications. That criticality, the input we have got it from business and IT stakeholders. So this process was implemented only for 40 applications, and we are trying to bring out and improve the health of all the applications to run the business smoothly. So these are all the benefits we can expect from clinic. One is instead of working on the reactive mode, we can prevent all the severe issues proactive way, and since we are communicating the application health to the business through portal, we can see that business will know that the real picture about applications. So like if we go and ask the business, there are some issues in the application, we need money to improve the health and all, they will not believe it. Now it gives the clear picture, where is the actual problem. If you sponsor this budget like for adding one more server for improving the availability, or doing some customization for improving that reliability, then this gives clear evidence, and it will help to improve the relationship between business and IT. So another thing is cost of optimization. So it's not only for improving the health, it also look out that possibility of optimizing the maintenance cost as well. Quick solution, since it's like clinic is more on that it's run by experts. So experts always provide a solution in short span of time. We can we roll out that solutions in short span of time. So planning, how it will help for planning. Actually that health improvement plan, that gives the details of what would be the return on investment for rolling out the health improvement plan. That will give the more details to the management for the next budgeting planning period, for resource planning and cost planning as well. And at the last, actually it is a single point of ownership. Now you can look at that, some team says that engineering team has done that, screwed up the application. Some people say that architect screwed up the thing. Some team says like that's how, right? Now this is so the responsibility of clinic. So clinic is responsible for the health of applications. So there is not much problem, or not much people to be blamed, only one person to be blamed. So this is like, not me. So of course, like there are a lot of challenges. I just put very few of them. So process changes. This is like we are not introducing any new process here. This is more on like, already organization may have a lot of processes. If you go with another process to them in front of them, they will start laughing actually. So even they started laughing also. Like after seeing this, then we were able to convince them that this is not a new process. This is more on that just unifying the existing process and systems. Like this is like when we presented in such a way that it will help them to improve that. It will help them to solve their headache instead of like introducing another headache. So another thing is expertise. Expertise is the major challenge. Like we strongly believe that expertise will help to run this clinic successfully. Getting that right expert and retaining the expert, it's a bit of challenging part. And information inconsistency, since like the clinics runs with one pager, like which is the application blueprint, but we need to get information from multiple people, business people and IT stakeholders and a lot of artifacts. So when we started doing it, we get different versions of information for the same thing. When we talk with business, they are saying something. When we talk with application team, they are saying something. Like when we look at the documents, it's something different. When we look at the actual environment, it's something different. So that is actually major challenge when we did an initial rollout. The another thing is too many stakeholders we need to really interact with. Convincing them, and that's a big challenge. So another thing is we need this is a one-time challenge actually. The last one is setting up the environment, like more on that, setting up the right organization structure, setting up the right technology platform. It's a challenge. That's a one-time challenge. It's like once we solve that, it won't happen again. That's all actually. I might have run fast, so it might.
Appreciate that. We have a few minutes for questions and answers, hopefully.
When you're trying to diagnose the health of a given system, based upon feedback ratings, right, from from users, from stakeholders, from people who interact with the system. One of the things that I would find is that if a stakeholder has a bias against a system, if they just don't like it in general, then they will rate every aspect of that system low.
No, actually,
Right. If I am a user of your finance system and I just don't like it,
Okay.
right, I will say your finance system is bad for reliability, bad for availability, bad for user, bad for everything. When we know it may have a problem, but it's not bad in everything. So
Yeah.
how do you train the people who are providing you input
yeah.
to make that input the most valuable?
So
We not only believe that the information what we receive from the people, and another critical base is like non-functional requirement. So a non-functional requirement definitely might have drafted when we started that application development. So that will be the base, and on top of it we'll get that problems from the people. We get to know that, like when we talk with the business, they will say that these are all things I'm getting, these are all things I'm not getting, those kind of things. But the NFR is the base for it. So we will validate it and we will correlate the information with the information gathered from the people, then that index will be calculated. When we calculated the index for one of the first applications, when we share that index to the application team, their reaction was like, that's exactly, they said like, how can you say that my application is sick? So like no one like to accept that like my application is sick. Then we provided the details. These are all the parameters. These are all the issues in the application. Then we dipped into the details. Then they started believing it. Then started accepting it. So that's the initial challenge. No, you are not telling the truth. This is not, my application is not sick. So the NFR is the base, and we are using that, as I said, right, customized the ATOM methodology. It's clear. This NFR, if I got that, for example, performance is 2 seconds with 100 concurrent users. This level, your application is not performing in that way. Even if performing with a 10 user load now, it will not perform if you do that based on the scalability analysis. So if you provide that details to the application team, then they will start believing it. Otherwise, you bring down your NFR first. So then we can say that if you bring down your NFR to 10 users and 10 seconds response time, then now you can say that application is healthy. Because it will be varied based on that NFR. So that's how we are able to. Yeah.
He's talking about the other way around, right? Where a stakeholder believes the system isn't healthy.
No, he's telling me that I'm a person who believes my application could never be sick.
I mean, were you asking about, what happens if the people giving the feedback, right, have a personal stake against the system?
That also, that's what, NFR is the base.
And you have a population greater than 1, right?
So you have to validate.
Yeah. And if you look at that, the things information gathered from the people is one part. So like another thing is load testing results, profiling results, and non-functional requirements, and the data we gathered from statistics gathered from production, the analytics report. All this information we'll look at it for diagnosis. So if we start believing only the information from people, then definitely no application will be safe. That's how the current problem, right? So if you talk with business stakeholders, they always say that application is not well. But if you talk with application support team, they always say that business is telling lie. So we can't believe the people. We have to believe, but not completely.
What about usability? I didn't see that really listed in the table. There was for performance, reliability. So it seems as though you may not have. You would get maybe that input from feedback from the users, but in some of the information, the system could be healthy, but not very usable to the people that use it.
The usability is also covered. That's a part of one of the quality attributes. That's like if you look at the 25010 standards, usability is subset of one of the quality attributes. So the usability is also covered actually. Yeah. And also some of the functional requirements also covered. Because one of the questions I got it from the other stakeholders when we rolled out is, do you cover only non-functional requirements? Don't you bother about business requirements? Business requirements also covered as a part of the quality attributes, because if it's not working properly, if it's not giving that right functionality, then we cannot say that application is healthy. So it covers critical functional requirements as well.
Okay, I think we need to move on to the next one. Maybe you can connect afterwards. Sure.
Yeah.
Can we switch your microphone?
Thank you.
very much.